All right, hello everybody. All right, in this video, let's go over the annual election period for Medicare. We got that running from October 15th through December 7th each year, and what that means for you as a Medicare beneficiary with a policy. How does that affect you? Because I know a lot of people know that you've got annual election period each year. Everybody calls it annual enrollment, so I guess we'll go with that term. You see all the advertisements on TV, the commercials. You hear, stuff on the radio. You get all kinds of stuff in the mail. But what does it really mean to you? Well, a couple of things. So, number one, if you have a standalone prescription drug plan, so if you are a person who has a traditional Medicare supplement and then you have a standalone drug plan to go along with it, this would be your opportunity to review your drug coverage. Okay. So what you want to do is have someone like myself, independent agent advisor who's got access to as many plans as possible to be able to take a look at your coverage. So that would involve, compiling your prescription information. So any, maintenance medications or insulin, inhalers, whatever you get filled through your plan at the pharmacy. Okay. So the name, the dose amount, the refill frequency, 30 days, 90 days, that kind of thing, name brand, generic, whatever it might be. And then what pharmacy do you use, or do you use mail order? Because that can have an impact on the pricing. And then, what your home zip code and county is. Plans will vary based on, geographic location as well. So all that would get compiled in the system, and then it's going to project based on those parameters which which plans are most cost effective for the information provided. Obviously, we don't know if there's going to be any changes in the future, but we want to look at a plan that's going to cover, give you the most comprehensive, most cost effective coverage for the upcoming calendar year. And then we want to look at things such as what's the deductible on the plan, what's the premium, how are the drugs classified through the different tiers that are available. One plan might classify drug X on, tier one. A different plan might classify it on tier two. So it just depends, and that'll affect the copay or coinsurance that you have with that prescription. Another thing to really keep in mind is, whether or not your preferred pharmacy continues to be in network and whether or not it's preferred with that plan to get you the most, cost effective pricing, or if you use mail order. And so it's the opportunity to look at, comparing what coverage you have now with whatever company it is, and then if there are any other options out there that are more, competitive from a cost standpoint. And then if that sounds good, the process of making a change, if we need to do that, is to, go through and do the application details that are there, which is, all your basic information, Medicare ID number, name, address, date of birth, phone number, all that fun stuff gets submitted. And then through the process of, enrolling you into whatever that new plan is, the system will automatically cancel out the old drug plan that you have. Medicare doesn't let you have two drug plans, so the old one would automatically get canceled out, and then you'll be off and running for the next calendar year. Now, on the other side, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan that has drug coverage with it, okay, we've got a little bit longer, more in depth of a conversation because if it turns out that, your plan, let's say your Medicare Advantage PPO plan, let's say the pharmacy that you want to use is no longer in network with that particular plan that you have. Well, that could significantly raise the cost. So we need to then look at one of two things. Do you either want to change your pharmacy, or do you want to change your plan because you love your pharmacy and want to stick with your pharmacy? Okay. So then, if that decision is upon us, what we would do then is we would, if it's simple enough to change your pharmacy and the prices are good on the drug coverage and everything, certainly you could keep your same plan. You just need to, go to CVS instead of Rite Aid or whatever it might be. If we're looking at a situation where we are going to enroll you into a new plan entirely, well, now we have to have the conversation of the summary of benefits for that particular plan, because you could be looking at different out-of-pocket costs, different copays that are either higher or lower, different benefits, different dental coverage, different over-the-counter benefits, and things like that. And we want to keep in mind also, do you travel out of state in the upcoming calendar year? That could be a consideration, because if you have a narrow network plan, we might seriously want to consider, if you're traveling out of state, enrolling into a plan that's got a bigger network for coverage if you're traveling for hospitalization and stuff like that. And so Medicare Advantage is an extremely important conversation to have year over year, even if we aren't planning on enrolling you into a different plan. We still want to do a review and make sure that you understand how it's working. You understand what's the hospital copay, what's the outpatient surgery copay, what do these different features of the plan look like, if it's an over the counter benefit, if it's, is there a gym membership with it, that kind of stuff. So it's an important time. And I would tell you also, it's a very good time to remind friends or family, because maybe they haven't looked at their plan in 2, 3, 4, 5, how many ever years. And maybe it's time for them to look at, is there a new plan out there that provides me more applicable coverage based on what my needs are going into the calendar year? Maybe I've got some expected, procedures or tests or whatnot, and I need to look at a plan that's got better out of pocket coverage for big procedures or hospitalization or whatever it might be. And so, annual enrollment for Medicare is a really critical time. It doesn't matter what platform you use, because, you know, we want to review whatever coverage that you have, whether it's a standalone drug plan or whether it's a Medicare Advantage plan, and take a look at those benefits. And yeah, year over year, a lot of people stick with the same plan that they have, but it's still important to have the conversation. And it's still important to understand, what does my plan look like for the next year? And even a 5-minute conversation can help put your mind at ease, can help reassure you, because inevitably over that 7-week period with annual election period for Medicare, you're going to hear a lot of stuff on the radio. You're going to get stuff in the mail. You're going to hear, advertisements about, you know, don't miss out on this or don't miss out on that, or you could be getting extra X, Y, or Z. And those companies that are doing the advertisements are, I always tell people, it can be very much like a trailer, a preview for a film, where maybe all the best parts or most of them are just in that advertisement. And you could be short-sighting yourself if you're just focused on one, particular piece. But also keep in mind, there are certain, requirements with certain plans, if we're talking about Medicare Advantage, where, you might only qualify if you're a certain, a dynamic of the population where it's, people on Medicaid or people who have certain chronic conditions or whatever it might be. And so, always be questioning when you hear those kind of things on an advertisement where, you know, it sounds really, really great, but when we dive into it, maybe, maybe we need to steer away from that because we shouldn't be picking a plan solely based on one individual piece of that plan. When we get under the hood, we want to look at everything and we want to select a plan that's going to service you, with the most comprehensive set of benefits to fill your needs, cover you if you travel, not have restrictions on where you can use it, that kind of stuff. So, hope this video helps. Again, annual election period, annual enrollment is a really important time to take a review, reach out, if you got any questions, and happy to help. But hope this video, does some good for you. Feel free to, again, remind friends, remind family. It's a great time of year for everybody to take a look at everything. So hope this helps. Hope that answers some questions. If you got any questions, feel free to, reach out. Here to help in any way that we can. Thanks. Have a great day.